Hello everyone, my name is Bruno Rose and I wanted to start my first video blog today because I wanted to share my perspective with y'all on a current topic that's going on. I know it's died down a little bit in the news, but I really wanted to embrace it. And it's basically the topic of the Washington Redskins and whether or not they should keep the name or get rid of it. And the reason why I kind of brought up this subject today is because I was on the film set for a production for the North Carolina Department of Justice system, and where while I was away from the big screen, getting my rest time as an actor in the green room, I was showing some of the other actors, and we were sitting there talking about some deep subjects. And one of the topics that came up in the conversation was actually about the Washington Redskins, whether or not they should keep the name. And so I heard some really cool perspectives, and it was funny because everyone in the group thought that they should get rid of it, but everyone was also kind of open-minded and saw the whole other side of it too. So I want to share my perspective with y'all, being that I'm half Native American, half black. Well, let me say this first, just so y'all know. Just because I'm half Native American or half black does not mean that I represent the entire race for both of those ethnicities. Or, I don't know. For me, I see it like this. You have some Native Americans who support it, some Native Americans who don't support it. So don't look at me as the one person to look at for all your information about this topic, because there are definitely some different opinions. But for my opinion is it needs to go. And here's why I say this. It's not because the term Redskins naturally offends me. It's that I don't find that term to be correct. And I know it's a whole politically correct thing, and people are like, oh, we can't have anything nice anymore. Oh no, they're trying to take everything away from us. They want to be PC all the time. Well, in this instance, you have a word that is offending a large group of people, and people are upset about this. And this isn't a fight that's been happening for a year or two. This is a fight that's been happening for decades, where people have been trying to get rid of this name and these stereotypes that are used by these professional sports teams. So that's the problem right there, is that let's start with the term redskin first of all. I know some people are saying that there are historical documents that show that that some Native Americans in the past actually used the term redskin to classify themselves and white skin to classify the white people. That's all fine and dandy that those Native Americans use that term to classify who they are. We kind of have a more recent subject that's very similar to that, is with some black people using the N-word. Well, I don't see businesses going around saying, oh, I'm going to use the N-word because at one point in time, or currently, black people still use this to classify themselves or to talk to one another. I don't see that happening. That term in itself is still a pretty racist term, and people aren't going to use that to name their businesses. So I kind of see it in a sort of similar manner with the term Redskins. Just because a few have decided that term isn't offensive doesn't mean that term is not offensive at all, and that you can keep using this to name your business. That's problem number one. Another problem I have with this is that it promotes a whole bunch of stereotypes and just grouping all the Native Americans into one group, saying Redskins, Native Americans, this is what they are. We're going to have all these pictures of all these stereotypes that people have of Native Americans and display this to support our business, to show our business and market our business to people. And I don't think that's okay anymore. And I think that many people are starting to see that, specifically like the U.S. Patent Office with the decline their patent to continue using the Washington. Look, I can't even say nothing. Can't even say anything. Washington Redskins name and logo and all the other jazz. Another problem I have with this whole situation is that this high mighty rich Daniel Snyder, whatever his name is, owner of the Washington Redskins, thought that it would be okay if he could get a group of Native Americans together and buy them out to keep using this offensive term that they found offensive for his team. He thought, oh, let me just use my millions of dollars and let me go to the poor Native Americans and pay them off. Well, he tried it. He tried it, and it did not work. They declined it, and I'm kind of glad that they did. I mean, I have to admit, if he was offering me however much money, I would probably accepted it. But, that's a totally different story. I ain't going to say nothing about that. But instead of trying to buy off Native Americans, this dude should be focusing that money he's spending on trying to buy Native Americans off so he can keep using this term that some of us find to be offensive, and use that money to buy off the rest, because we all know that record from last year was complete. They got some work to do, but that's none of my business, is it? I've been drinking watermelon This watermelon juice is something serious. Something serious. It's real good. I'm telling you now, if you ain't never had this watermelon juice from is it Minute Maid or something like that? I don't know. It's real good though. Got it from Walmart for $1.25. Ain't no joke. Hits the right spot. But anyways, back to the subject at hand. Woo. That's another reason. Like I still can't believe he thought he could buy them off. That's tripping me out. But so yeah, they declined because like many Native Americans, they don't like that term, and I think the basis is, even though I can see why some people might say it's not offensive, they're being respectful or they're trying to be respectful of Native Americans, they're not doing any harm to, they're not meaning to do any harm to the Americans, Native Americans, which I understand. I don't see them as a business that's trying to harm Native Americans. I just don't think it's right that they are using the Washington Redskins in the title. And I know you can talk about the Kansas City Chiefs or whatever. That's a whole different subject. But I'm talking about right now, Washington Redskins. Redskins gotta go. That just gotta go. I'm sure they can come up with something more creative. They can, they can pay me a few $1,000,000, and I'm sure I'll find something real creative for them to get, for them to use instead. But yeah, so that's my opinion on that subject. It is a difficult subject to talk about because you do have two different sides of the story, and no matter which side you're on, you gotta consider the people who are offended by this. And I hate to be so PC about it or whatever, but I mean, it's just not right, and they really need to do the right thing. But anyways, I've shared my opinion with you guys. So if you want to share your opinion, feel free to comment below, right down here. Not in my groin section, but in the comments below. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, Bruno Rose. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Lebroser, LEBROSER, or Lebrose on Tumblr. But other than that, I'm gonna leave you guys. That was my first video blog. There'll be more to come, so feel free to subscribe if you want to. But anyways, see ya.